Hi, I'm Denise Lanman, your host for Chamber Chat. And joining me now in the studio is Matt Golliher. Hi, Matt. How are you today?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Matt is with WestPoint Financial Group, and he's going to educate you and me on what they do. So, Matt, let's start out by you just telling us what WestPoint Financial Group is.
Sure. So WestPoint is a financial services company, which means that we use investments and insurance products to accomplish our clients' goals. It has about 215 associates and staff, and that's located in offices spread out throughout Indianapolis, Indiana, and Illinois. And so the office that I work out of is Indianapolis, so I'm building my practice there, and of course here in Wayne County, where I'm from.
So you are wanting to keep your roots here in Richmond and bring what you do to us, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So tell us exactly what you do, though.
Okay. So what we do, it can be a lot of different things, but essentially we help people who want to protect their families and save for retirement. And then for business owners, we help them protect the investment that they've made in their business.
So that would be kind of an insurance part, right? So if I have a mortgage and I want to make sure that's covered, you could help me with that.
There's a lot of different aspects to what we do, and insurance is a big one.
Okay. Well, I mentioned if I had a mortgage, you could do something, but how do you know who or what would make a good client? Who can you help?
Okay, that's a good question. Basically, I ask questions. So if I meet a business owner, one of the questions that I'll often ask is, if you or one of your partners passed away, became disabled, got divorced, or decided to depart from the business, what would that look like? And how would that affect you, your family, and your business? And if they don't have an answer to that question that they feel really good about, then that lets me know that it probably makes sense to sit down with them and have a conversation.
So it helps people prepare for situations that could arise. So give us another example of that. What would you do for that business? What would be something you would offer them or talk to them about specifically?
Well, that really depends on really why they want to sit down. The first thing that we do when we sit down, we ask, why do you want to sit down? And we try to find out what's important to them, where they are now, where they want to be in the future. So as far as the direction that the process takes, that really depends on the individual business owner.
And whether it's a business or a personal, someone with personal needs.
Exactly right.
So how would we get started? If I was going to be someone you talk to, do we set up an appointment with you? How do we get that started?
Well, every process gets started with an initial appointment. And basically all that means is I work with a lot of great advisors at WestPoint, a lot of partners of the company. And so depending on who I'm meeting with, I'll usually bring one of them in and we'll all sit down together. And basically all we'll do is we'll talk about what we do at WestPoint, how we work with clients. We'll find out more about the person's situation. Like I said, where they are, where they want to be in the future, what's important to them. And then basically that's about it for the first meeting. And at the end of that first meeting, one of three things can happen. The first thing that could happen is, for whatever reason, they decide that what we do isn't right for them.
And I'm sure that happens occasionally.
Sure. And the second thing that could happen is, as we're exploring different topics, we figure out that they have a need that we don't address. And if that happens at that point, then we try to direct them to someone who can help them. And then the third thing that could happen is we find something that needs to get done and we mutually agree that it would make sense to move forward.
So you're not a high pressure type of business, right?
No. I think everyone has had an experience with someone who doesn't want to take no for an answer. But the problem with that philosophy is sometimes no is the right answer. And so if that's the case, then we want to find that out.
And you're willing to accept no if that's what it comes down to. So you're not going to call them 5 times a day or anything, right?
Right, absolutely.
Good. After that initial phase is over and say you're going to help me, we've found something that I need help with, like my mortgage. So what's going to happen next? What am I going to do? Am I going to come back for, a second meeting?
Again, and I think I'm starting to see a pattern. It all depends on the individual client. It all depends on what we figure out makes sense for them to do. But in general, after we figure out that it would make sense for us to work together, then we decide what the next steps will look like. And then at that point, we'll have 1, 2, 3 more meetings, however long it takes to complete the process of what we decide makes the most sense to do. So I can't give a very good answer to that question,
Okay.
other than it depends.
Well, the answer's been pretty general, but give me some specifics of what you can do. Like I've mentioned my mortgage a couple times. What would you do? What do you have that would help me with my mortgage if my husband passed away? You have something, right, that you would offer me.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about, but could you talk a little bit more about that? You have a mortgage
on our house.
Okay.
And so we carry insurance on our house, but we don't carry insurance on our mortgage.
Oh, okay. I see.
So my insurance company, my property and casualty insurance company, is going to pay for my house. But what if it can't be rebuilt, or what if there's other situations? Then I still owe a mortgage.
So what you're saying is your husband passes away, your family loses that income, but you're still liable for the mortgage.
Right.
Okay. Well, in that situation, that's a case where we take a look at life insurance. And that's one of the tools that we use in our process, and we determine if, that's one of the questions that we'll ask. I kind of talked about that with the business owners. I'll ask a version of that question to almost everybody. If you or your spouse passed away or became disabled, what would that look like for you and your family? And how would that affect your life?
And a lot of people probably haven't thought of that. Well, once we get a little older, we start thinking about that more than when we're younger. But you probably ask questions of your possible clients that they haven't thought about, and bring it to their attention that maybe this needs to be addressed, right?
Yeah, well, that's kind of the goal. And just like with business owners, if I ask that question and they don't have an answer to it that they feel really good about, then that's an indication to me that it would at least make sense to sit down and have a conversation and talk a little bit more about it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I probably need to sit and talk with you. So what is it that you want to tell the people that are watching today? What do you want them to know about WestPoint Financial Group and what they do?
Well, for anyone who watches and has kind of been thinking about anything like this, really the biggest thing is don't be afraid to reach out. I think, like we kind of talked about, don't feel like you have to commit to doing something just to sit down and have a conversation. And we kind of talked about, the not taking no for an answer, but the biggest thing, if someone has a question or if someone's been thinking about something, that's the important thing for that initial meeting. The only purpose of that initial meeting is to determine whether it makes sense to work together or not. So the biggest thing is, don't hesitate to reach out if you have a question or if you have something on your mind that's been bothering you.
Okay, so I wouldn't be wasting your time, right?
No.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this earlier, but can you tell me a little bit more about WestPoint Financial as far as the company? How long has it been in existence? Do you know about how many years they've had presence in Indiana?
Yeah, in Indiana, actually, as far as the exact year, I'm not quite sure. I know they've been in existence, I want to say, since '46.
So they're a well-established company.
Yeah, it's well established and it's growing every year, and it's an exciting company to work for. I'm very fortunate to have found them.
That's good. You seem really happy and excited about what you're doing. And they didn't have an office in Richmond before you? Are you initiating that and trying to build and grow that?
Well, as far as an office presence in Richmond, yeah, that's always a possibility. As far as the presence in Richmond of WestPoint, one thing that I thought was interesting when I first got hired at the company, a lot of guys would ask, hey, my name. They'd introduce themselves. They'd say, so where are you from? I'd say Cambridge City, and most of them would say, where's that at? And I'd say, oh, do you know where Richmond is? Oh, I just had a meeting out there with somebody. And that's actually happened quite a bit. So as far as office presence, no, but I'm trying to build my practice here in Wayne County, and I've come to find out that there's already some WestPoint service here.
Well, but there's still a need and a growing need, and you want to grow your connection here in Richmond, Cambridge City, Wayne County, and you're from here, so hopefully the people here will reach out to you and will help you make that happen. So we will have a slide that will go on the screen, and your information will be on there, and people can give you a call. Okay. And if they miss that number, they can call the chamber, and I'll get you any information you need. So thank you very much, Matt, for letting us know what you do, and for being here on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Welcome back, and joining me now is Susan Isaacs. Susan, thank you very much for joining me today, and you did this on short notice.
I did.
So I'm very, very happy that you were able to come and be on the taping today, and be on the show.
Happy to be here with you.
You are the Wayne Township trustee, but you're going to talk with me today about something called the Grassroots Center. So start off by telling us, what is it?
The Grassroots Action Resource Center, which we typically just call the Grassroots Center, is a center that is located downtown right across from the Innovation Center at 819 East Main. It was an abandoned building that is just a small, thin building between Nolenberg's and what is now Mona Lisa Salon, but it used to be, but right before that it was the thrift store, Abilities. So it's 10 feet wide and 95 feet long. So it's an odd-shaped building, and it had been, the last thing that it was a mortgage company. And before that, when I was a teenager and youngster, it was Merle Norman Cosmetics.
Really?
Yeah, so it was that for a long time. It was a card shop, it was other things, but it was originally a barber shop or a beauty salon. But when I first saw the building, because I had mentioned to Jason Whitney that I would like to have a presence downtown, because I think a lot of exciting stuff is happening in downtown Richmond.
And it is.
Things. Oh,
yes.
Exciting things. And I thought it would be a great location for us to have for the township to have a presence, and that's what the Grassroots Center is, the service office of the township trustee. And when I went in and saw it, I thought, oh, this is great. And it was just in really bad shape. You had to wear a mask. There was this high of rubble from the ceiling that had been a really, really bad roof leak, and over for 7 years of being abandoned, and it was awful. And we got together a bunch of volunteers. I bet we had at least a couple of thousand man-hours of people there were little skinny college girls with sledgehammers tearing down walls, and just all kinds of people came in to help. And we got Wayne County Foundation gave us a couple of grants. We got a new roof with that, and office equipment, and had some other financial assistance, in the township paid for some, because it's now Wayne Township owns the building. It was owned by the county, and they couldn't sell it. Nobody wanted it. It was in too bad a shape.
Yeah.
And if it hadn't been for the volunteers, it would not have been economically feasible to ever have saved that building. And now it is beautiful. It's just beautiful. I just can't tell you how much I feel peaceful when I walk in there. So it's a really wonderful space now, and it gets used by local boards of small nonprofits that use it for their board meetings. We've had trainings there where I have, I think, 8 Bonner scholars from Earlham and work study students that come in and do their 10 hours a week. And it's just a bustling place of exuberance and activity and positive stuff going on. And it's just, there's going to be so much good stuff coming out of it. And today I'd like to talk about the newest thing that we're just getting ready to start, which is the $500 project initiative. When Peter, I'm not going to try to pronounce Peter's last name, but
No,
Peter Kagiyama, I don't know how to say it, for Love of Cities, which was the IU East's One Book, Many Voices choice for this year, and he was in town and did lots of talks and et cetera. And a group of us, we had meetings about it and got excited about all the concepts in the book, which the main focus of the book is about how when people have an emotional connection to their place, city, community, whatever it is, when they have that emotional connection with their place, then they are much more likely to, take risks for it and stand up and fight for it and do things to make it a better place. And it's tied, study after study has tied it to the economic growth and other positive economic factors is the relationship that people have with their city. And the small things are what makes it, being walkable, bikeable, public art, just all kinds of small things add up to build a relationship. Because when you stop and think, what do I really love about whatever place you're from or whatever, what do I love about Richmond? It's usually not that the streets are good or you have this, it's usually the little things that you remember about a pretty place or a fun festival or the Ice Richmond meltdown is going to be a really cool thing. Things that make the city something that's like, wow, this is really cool, it's fun, it makes you smile. So those are the kinds of things that we need more of in this community and in every community. And one of the things that has grown out of Peter's book across the country are these things called $500 projects. And what they are is just average, everyday people everybody seems like they have an idea about what would be better for the city. And there's so many great ideas.
And everybody's talking about it.
And they don't know how to do it, or they don't have, for whatever reason, they don't believe they can make a difference. Well, this is the whole point of this project and this initiative is to show people that they can make a difference. You don't need a lot of money, you don't need a lot of connections. We can help you with, we'll be funding at least one project a month, probably two, with $500 to cover project costs. Plus, they'll have their access to all the resources that the center has. The Grassroots Center, by that would be like helping find volunteers, helping whatever piece of that puzzle that they're not sure. Or if they need a connection for a space, or if they need this or that, guess what? We can probably find a person who, if I don't know it, then I'll find somebody who does.
Right.
So we'll be able to hook them with whatever resources that they might need or direction. So that's an exciting piece of it. To fill out an application or to submit an idea for that piece of it, you can go to, you can email Susan at WayneTownshipTrustee.com or just grassrootsarc@gmail.com. We also have a Grassroots website that's just getting started. It's grassrootsarc.com. Jenny Lanman is working on that. We just got our first page up, but soon it'll be a really nice site. So those are two ways, and we can email you an application. You can also pick up an application packet at Roscoe's Coffee Room
down in the Depot District,
and at the Innovation Center
downtown
at 814 East Main, and at the Wayne County Foundation office, 33 South 7th, which is the same building you're in, and you have some at the Chamber of Commerce office, and at the Innovation Center when we're open, which is about Mondays, Wednesdays, and a little bit on Thursday and Friday. So we have kind of odd hours because we're all volunteers, et cetera, and I have another job. So,
yeah.
So, but we can email that information to you. You can call the Wayne Township Trustee's office at 973-9392. Just get a hold of me, and we'll get you an application. It's very, very simple. There's like 5 or 6 or 8 questions, and that's it. You don't have to give me all this. It's very simple. And all we're looking for is what is going to it has to have a positive impact on our community and make it more livable, and that's the only rule. It's about anything that I probably can't imagine, hopefully things I can't imagine. So it can be anything that makes our community more livable and makes it a better place.
Have you chosen someone for the first to
Not
receive
yet.
the first
Not
one?
yet, but we will be in the next couple of weeks, so people need to...
Have you received applications?
We have not actually gotten any applications yet. I've got a few that are out that are going to be in any time, but we don't have any applications yet. And I know that once more people know about it, they're going to be out getting more applications, and as they see them going, because my goal is to get 50 projects done in 2015. Not 50 projects funded through my office, but hopefully 20 or so funded not through tax dollars. There's from grants and donations, and we got a $1,000 donation from Hype from their wine festival.
Oh, nice!
We got $500 at one of the breakfasts that we did about the book. We had a donation from some Erland students last year that I told them would be used for some kind of a cool program, so we're going to use at least part of that for at least one project. So there's 4 funded already. We haven't even started fundraising yet. So I have every confidence that we'll be able to raise enough funds. But then the other piece of it is to have churches, clubs, organizations, schools, employers, factories, offices. For $500, they can get my assistance and all the resources that my office, and I'm sure you guys would help, and everybody's willing to help because it's such a cool thing for the community. All the resources that are needed, plus they pay the $500. Their employees or their members or their whatever put in all the ideas. I can be as involved or as not involved as you want. I can help you with, I can give you the applications. I can give you the whole little thing. All you got to do is just let me do whatever you want, and we can even choose the project out of it, or you can have a community that does it. It's very flexible, but we can give you a real simple path, and for $500 you can be part of this community movement. It's great PR, it's a wonderful bringing together. I mean, there's so many, it's a great way to do something for the community for $500. Where are you going to find that?
And you'll meet a lot of people.
Oh, you'll be part of this positive path.
Yes,
it's such a cool
excitement
thing.
And feel the energy that is happening in Wayne County.
It's going to be a wonderful thing, and I anticipate that a lot of businesses and groups will be wanting to do that, because everybody's got great ideas, and it could bring your. I get calls a lot of times from businesses and stuff that say, what can we do? I want to get my employees involved in something. They call me that on a fairly regular basis. Well, this is a perfect thing. Let them have input into what they exactly want to do, pick it, and then get them all to rally around it. It's just going to be a wonderful thing.
Okay, I have an idea.
Woo-hoo.
I've been talking with a couple young couples from Centerville, and they would like to see some changes made to the park downtown. And would that be something that we could actually apply for the $500 project?
We're really focusing mostly on Richmond as a city, but we are also we would also entertain from anybody in Wayne County, and certainly offer to help them with getting some positive things done in other areas too. So,
and if nothing else, we could at least pick your brain and see who we could get to help us, right?
Absolutely.
That is really neat. I am excited about that.
I'm excited about it. I mean, 50 projects is impactful. We at the end of the year, we should have some cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So that's exciting.
So you mentioned you had some Earlham students, and they volunteer a lot at the Grassroots. And this is actually the Grassroots
Action Resource Center.
Action Resource Center.
Grassroots Action Resource Center.
So I think I missed saying that, action and resources. So the resources that are needed are there, and if they're not there, you're going to find them, right?
We have, for small organizations and people wanting to get something done, we have meeting space, we have really cool, we have the brand new projectors and the screens and the really nice copiers and all the office machines that they're not going to have as a small organization. They don't have a public place where they can go and meet. We have that. We have all kinds of stuff, the big nice coffee machine and the, all the stuff that can make a meeting nice, and it's just a great place.
The Chamber had their staff retreat there, and we've had a couple meetings there, and it's just real comfortable and welcoming, and
I think it is.
It is really awesome.
Has lots of local art, which I'm really trying to.
Yes.
I have to purchase that myself, of course, but it's mine. But it's in there, and it's
good thing
just
you have that as a
beautiful
job.
Stuff. Yes, this one pays zero. No, it's part of my job as a township trustee, and I'm just
right. But you're pretty passionate about this.
Yes,
you're passionate about Richmond. You're passionate about Wayne County.
It's a wonderful place.
The collaboration between all the people, and it's just great. Yeah. You're also kind of involved in something else that we talked about earlier, and you said that you have received a grant to do raised
garden beds.
Garden beds.
Waist-high raised garden beds. We got a grant. I was one of the founders of Sprout of Control Community Garden Project, and although I'm not on the board, because I just, you can only do so many things, only so many hours in the day, I'm still involved and help them on different things and help them with, because I'm an accountant by trade, so I do their tax things and things like that. And but one of the things that I was passionate about within Sprout was to because my mother had a stroke, and she was in the garden, literally in the garden, when she had her stroke, and clipping salad stuff. So, and that she couldn't garden anymore because of the stroke, and she can't lean down, et cetera. And so, as part of Sprout, I stumbled across waist-high raised garden beds, which means they're waist high, and you don't have to lean over anything. You can reach every spot if it's 6x4, and elderly people, disabled people wheelchair bound, you can build them that size, can garden again, which adds to their life. And we built 2 of them for my mother on the about 6 or so months after her stroke for Mother's Day. My brothers and sisters and I pitched in and made 2 real nice ones, and she just loved it. So I know that it can impact people in a positive way, and I also know that there are lots of people in different senior facilities that love to garden, and it's not like we're the only ones that have ever done it since then. So we're going to put them at the Leland.
Right.
Outside the Leland on the north side, there's like a space that's perfect for it. It has a door, it has sun, it has grass, and we're going to put at least 3 beds there. And we got a grant from the the Women's Giving Circle.
Nice.
Which is a group of local women who are awesome, and they pool their money, and they've given money to several things that I've been involved in: the laundry project, the Sprout of Control now, and this project. They gave us enough money to pay for everything, for the beds, the dirt, the plants, everything. So that's going to be happening very soon. Getting them built, and by spring we will have them.
People can watch on 40 and watch for those, and eventually they're going to see those there, right?
Well, it's not on 40, but
but when they pass the Leland or
yeah, it'll
right,
be it'll kind of be able to see that. Yeah, and it's going to be a wonderful thing. They're excited about it, and I'm excited about it, and hopefully that will be a pilot for all of the other. We want to spread that all over the city.
Well, that's really neat information. We're going to wrap this up, and I want to thank you for being here.
Thanks for letting me.
And I just want to touch briefly to the viewers something about the Chamber that we're getting ready to gear up for. And the Chamber is the organization that stands behind and administers the School is Cool program, which is sponsored by First Bank Richmond and Wetzel Auto Crews. And we're getting ready for the art t-shirt contest for perfect attendance. So we want the kids to start getting their drawings together and submitting those to their teachers at school or administration at school, or sending them to the Chamber office. So that's artwork. If you want information on that as an individual, you can contact the Chamber. If not, you should be able to contact your administrator at any of the schools in Wayne County or your art teachers. So ask your kids about that and see if their t-shirt artwork can win this year and be on the Perfect Attendance t-shirts. Thank you for joining us today and for watching Chamber Chat.